Hi friends, and welcome to Art with Miss Zoe. Happy Thanksgiving! In honor of Thanksgiving, we're going to create some fun pie coasters for your Thanksgiving table. As usual, you can find a list of supplies in the description below, as well as a template for the circles. Let's dive into today's art activity. The first step is to trace our large circle on our brown felt to create our pie crust. I'm using a piece of chalk, but if you don't have chalk on hand, you can use something else like a marker or just whatever you can find that will mark on the fabric. I accidentally cut my fabric too small, so I don't have room for both of my circles, but you can see that I have some pre-cut, so I'm going to go ahead and use those. Now I'm going to cut out my circles that I just traced, and you might notice that I have 2 sheets of fabric, and that's just so I don't have to cut out twice as much. I'm going to do the same steps on my red and blue fabric, and again I have 2 sheets of fabric for both of those, and I'm going to cut my circles out at the same time, and that just creates less work. So you can see there are 2, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. I'm cutting on the inside of my circle to make sure that I keep my pie shapes nice and small. Now I'm going to cut my extra brown fabric into strips. And this is going to be for the lattice work of the crust, that little crisscross pattern that sometimes you see on pies. Okay, so now I'm going to add my brown strips to my pie bases. And so I've moved my large brown circles off to the side to keep them out of the way. I don't want to accidentally get glue on them. And now I'm going to lay down strips of glue where I want my pie piece, or where I want my fabric strips to go. There we go. And I'm shooting for 5 on each of these. On my first one I only got 4, and that's okay. And if you like that lattice work to be a little more spaced out, you can do that. Alright, so moving on to step 2, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to turn our fabric pieces in the opposite direction to create that cross, like this. And I'm going to glue those on. And here I am just figuring out how many I can fit. And now I'm going to add my remaining fabric strips. I ran out, so I cut a few more. You need about 40 strips if you're going to do 10 on each. Or if you're only making 2 coasters, then you only need 20 strips. I'm going to set these aside for a minute and let them dry, and then I'll come back to trim. Now I'm going to flip this over so I can see where my edges are hanging off, and I'm going to trim those to the shape of the circle. And now I have these nice little neat pie circles. Now I'm going to grab my large brown circles and I'm going to glue my pie centers onto these. And the way I like to do it is to flip them over and add the glue to the back and put these in the center. You can do it whichever way works best for you. All right, now you could stop here, or if you don't like the shape of the crust, if you want it to look a little more pie-like, you can add a nice little curvy line to that crust. So you can grab your scissors and just cut a nice wavy line along that outside edge so that they look like this. It's almost like a flower shape. But in my opinion, it makes it look more like a pie. There we go. Giving that one nice little smash. Here's a close-up of the coaster so you can see it a little better. I hope you enjoyed this project. Happy Thanksgiving, thanks for watching, and keep making